Most of the Republican candidates for the presidency believe that birthright citizenship should be taken away. So let's briefly imagine a world in which we had not had birthright citizenship. Which great Americans would we lose in that hypothetical world? Here are 5 suggestions from Amanda Turkle. To her credit, she put together a great list here. The first, martial artist Bruce Lee. I know it's easy to imagine that taking it away is just going to get rid of a bunch of kids in some neighborhood you wouldn't ever go into. But no, Bruce Lee as well. And by the way, these days, Chinese, if they would use the term anger babies, are almost the majority. Like that's a huge number. It's easy to just say it's a Hispanic issue, but it's not. It affects many different groups in America.
What does that guy have, like 2.5% body fat?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, actually. We would have lost him. He would have never been a president. Actress Diane Guerrero, Orange is the New Black. That is one of the greatest photographs ever taken in the history of mankind. She would not be a citizen of the United States.
Sorry, Republicans, you wouldn't have her.
Sorry. How many of them watch that show? You would have lost her. Next.
She's pretty.
Attorney General Alberto Gonzales.
Understatement.
Wonderful.
Okay, now I love this one because they say, hey, Alberto, how'd your parents get here? He's like, I asked around, or your grandparents. I asked around, I asked my parents and stuff. Nobody can seem to remember. Oh, really? Yeah, isn't that funny?
No, he says that?
Yeah, that's right. He's like,
It's like his testimony.
Yeah, it's apparently long-running precedent in the Gonzalez family. Yeah. Nobody can remember a goddamn thing, right?
Yeah.
I had a horrible memory. My father has a horrible memory. That's why I knew I'd be a good attorney general.
So he says they might have come here legally, they might not have come here legally. Just none of us can remember. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter except to Jan Mickelson and Ted Cruz.
So now, if Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, etc., get their way, that's. Your birthright citizenship is gone. Alberto Gonzales was born in the United States, but that's now irrelevant because his grandparents came here illegally.
Yeah.
And so it appears, where's your papers? Well, now you got to prove it. I don't care what your memory is. I don't care if you remember, don't remember. Where's their papers? Oh, you don't have their papers. Sorry. We revoke your mom's citizenship, your dad's citizenship, your citizenship. You're gone.
Just real quick, you think guys like Alberto Gonzales feel, maybe he's a bad example, but feel anything at this point? Or is it just like, hey, man, this is, if we were able to pull this off, this rolls back the electoral clock a good solid 10, 20 years for us. This would be great. Is it no more than that, or does he feel like
purely pragmatic?
Or does he feel, or does he wince a little like?
I think he winces. I know he was Bush's attorney general, and I know he's a bad guy, and we've covered ad nauseum on the show all the terrible things that he's done. But I think he thinks, sending my mom back to Mexico, like really? Yeah. Like because once you touch people's identity. That's when it hurts. That's when you hit bone, right? And
what if his identity is a hateful prick?
Yeah.
I think that's certainly part of it.
Yeah.
At some point, he's going to realize, oh, shit, they meant me.
Yeah.
Right? Like all these Uncle Toms, they love to, bow their head and say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And then they said, no, you schmuck, we meant you. Yeah. And then they go, oh, shit, right? So I think that's what the situation with Alberto Gonzales is. But we're not done yet. Here comes the best part.
Yeah, there's another politician. Let's put this up. I actually don't know who he is. Let's see it. Oh. I've seen him on TV recently.
He wouldn't be a citizen?
He wouldn't be a citizen.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So Ted Cruz wants to kick him out of the country.
Weird.
It would be easier for Ted to become the president.
So you're looking at Marco Rubio there, one of the leading contenders on the Republican side. And Senator Rubio was born in the U.S. and hence was a citizen in 1971, except for the fact that, his parents weren't citizens yet, making him an anchor baby.
Oh.
Now, he says he would not repeal the 14th Amendment, but he would be open to exploring ways of not allowing people who are coming here deliberately for that purpose to acquire citizenship. Whatever that means.
Yeah,
right.
and
so he wants to say that he'd repeal it, but he wouldn't repeal it.
Right. So, and why did your parents come here from Cuba? I don't know, right? Oh, I'm sure they came here for what other reason did they come here? What other reason did they come here?
All of the many different delicious flavors of rice-a-roni.
I saw yesterday, I think yesterday, sometime this week, you pointed out how Marco Rubio is not a serious contender for president. You saw it in some tweet or something. And I don't know whether that's true. I don't know who is a contender for president on that side. I can't figure it out at all.
Sarah Palin was the vice presidential nominee. Anything's possible at that party.
Yeah, totally. But the reason that I guess I disagree with you about Rubio, because a little, is because you look at those polls out today, and he's doing better than any of them against Hillary Clinton or against any Democrat. Like he still does the better. There is something like if they could get to the point where he was the candidate, where he were the candidate, you
You're
know,
not gonna get to that.
that-
point.
It's gonna be hard when he's not a citizen.
I hear you, in part because he's only pretty crazy on
Yeah.
this.
Now, he would not repeal the 14th Amendment. However, Bobby Jindal would, but don't worry about that. Let's go on to the next person who wouldn't be a citizen if... Oh, wait, it is actually Bobby Jindal.
Ooh, that's a
Who
shame.
would get rid of birthright citizenship is a citizen as a result of it.
Do you mean Bobby Jindal or do you mean Pius Jindal? Which is, of course,
That's his real name?
That's his real name.
Yeah. No, I mean Bobby, the one with the white portrait in the governor's mansion in Louisiana. Bobby, sad day. I told you, didn't I tell you? I said it last week. I said, Bobby, you think they're not going to come for you? You think they're not going to come for your family? And here we are 1 week later. You're on the list, motherfucker. Okay, so he was born here, but now his parents were not citizens. Now his mom was here legally, right?
Yeah, they were teaching.
They were teaching, but like everybody came over.
She wasn't a citizen.
But she wasn't a citizen. Your mom's not a citizen. Your dad's not a citizen. You were born here. You're a fucking anchor baby.
Yeah.
Okay? So, bye-bye. They're not going to think you're rested and tanned. Okay? They're not going to look at the portrait hanging in the
Is that
governor's
real?
mansion.
Rested and tanned?
That's his real slogan.
That can't
I thought that was Nixon's
No,
fake
it
slogan.
is. And he
I
took
believe
it. And
is,
he took
actually.
it.
Yeah.
Isn't that the saddest
so-
thing you've
it's
ever
a
heard?
religion.
rested,
kind of-
tanned, and
And
ready.
ready?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
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 Okay.
And, and in that, nothing about his waist.
He
Nothing.
is
Yeah.
just tiny little
Guess
waist.
what, though, Bobby? Your papers don't say tanned. Your
Yeah.
papers say your parents were not citizens when you were born. So now let's think about where this leaves us. Now, if you go back far enough and start revoking citizenship of everybody whose parents were not citizens but were born here in the United States at the time, you would actually have to keep going back and revoke almost everyone's citizenship. Because when they came over in the Santa Maria and
Right.
the Nina and the Pinta, they did not have papers. They were undocumented, right? When Columbus came here, it was undocumented. So Plymouth Rock, undocumented. So all of you guys, you go back far enough, you're all goners. The fact that you were born here is irrelevant. Who are the only ones who remain? First of all, you're looking at one of the survivors. Because I went through a legal process and I became naturalized. This doesn't affect me at all. I was lucky that I wasn't born in the United States. Hence, I'm not an anchor baby. I had to go through the legal process. I'm naturalized. I remain. Okay? Most of you will be kicked out, but I will remain. Who are the other people who remain? Even the conservatives say the 14th Amendment applies to slaves. They say it doesn't apply to anyone else. It applies to slaves. Great. The blacks stay. Okay, so African Americans get to stay because the 14th Amendment specifically applies to African Americans. Who else gets to stay? Well, Native Americans, obviously. They didn't need papers. They were already here. I think even conservatives agree to that, right? So the only people who would remain in the country are Native Americans, blacks, and legalized, naturalized citizens. Okay, everyone else, pack your bags. Okay, join Bobby and Marco, and don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.